Good morning, members. We did do it again. I thought today we'll run through a little bit what we're doing and how yesterday went and stuff like that. These are the results, as you saw in your email. Running total 70 units. I thought we won every day in September, but we hadn't. The first on the 3rd of January, we lost 9 units, being our only winner, Ninja. That's interesting, actually. Ninja at 250. It was our only 10 unit play, and the rest were very low confidence. With the only max one was 4 units. So we ended up losing 9 units that day, considering the way we played. And then we had 2 winners midweeks, both 10 units win. And then the next day, 8 units wins, showing that our big unit plays were really winning. At this stage, we had 1, 2, 3, 5, only 5 horses 8 unit up, and they all won. And this day we had Disneck, a 2 unit play, winning at a big price. So it looked like it was just our big unit plays that were winning. And then during the week, we had a 10 unit play here, Unleashing, which was pretty painless to watch. And this Butternut Princess, which I did not like the ride of Mertens. I'm always sus when a horse is well backed and missed the start. He was riding for Moody. He normally rides for Price. The second danger was a Price. I'm not saying untoward, but not only missed the start, where he chose to try to get through in the straight was really suspicious. But we'll move on from there. That's the only big unit play that lost. Actually, I lie. Then we had Instructor, the Instructor here, lose as well. So our last two 10 unit plays lost. Look, the way I structured the day was I had the Instructor. That's wrong, actually. That should be there. 10 units on the Instructor. And it was 2 units on Hidden Wealth as a saver. They were savers. We put the day 10 units if we could get $3. Yeah, it was $3. If we could get $3, the Instructor, which was looking sort of likely, they did back him though. 10 units would be 20 units minus the 3 units we were saving, would have got 17 units, which would have covered our side bets, which was mainly Hurry Miss 5 units. Should have been 3 of them. Hurry Miss, the It's a Knockout. Yep. Hurry Miss, It's a Knockout, and King of Russo. Now, those 3, probably Hurry Miss was on a wet track. I really thought it'd like that. The run was huge, but it wasn't a horse that rated for us. But just the profile, I thought. But It's a Knockout was a high rating for us first up. That's what we put it in. And King of Russo was really highly rated for us as well. And we'll go over that. So the way I designed it was if one of those 3 win, we're going to have a good day. And it'll probably cover the Instructor as well. And if the Instructor won and none of those 3 won, we would have broke around even. Or if the Instructor won, or even one of those save bets won and we put even, we would have had a really big day. So it was designed in that manner. And actually, King of Russo actually had 7 units on. Let's go here. King of Russo actually had 7 units on. And then I just downgraded it just because of price and to even things out. And they were backing the It's a Knockout. So that's why we had a few more units there. But if you look at King of Russo, we have 3 type of ways here. If you look up here, Butternut Princess doesn't rate for us. It was a profile horse. Just on its profile, it came up. And then we've got actual ratings. See, 1, 1.5, -1, right? And King of Russo was a 1.5. The other one's a black book. Actually, It's a Knockout. No, it's not a black book. It's actually a rater. But see, Dark Bony, black book. I would like the way it won, but it didn't really run times. But there was something about it in video footage. So we've got those 3. Our ratings is the most powerful thing. So, but what we do, we rate say, Car Ying Rising +5, Via Sistina, those sort of horses, they run a +5. Via Sistina Outliner can run a +10, +12. But generally, so we run right from the top, from +5, +10. But generally, horses that really top can run +5 consistently, all the way to -2, -2.5. So we cover 7.5 lengths of the top horses. We rate the top 7.5 lengths. If they're in the top 7.5 length bracket in Australia, we should have them down. The problem with that is if you get benchmark 72s and some benchmark 78s, there's some good up and comers that maybe come from the country, or some Saturday prize money that maybe was a night meeting, i.e. New Year's Day Flemington, and we try to rate those as well. But there's some good value in those races, and the profile can come up as an up-and-coming horse, and we include them looking for value. But generally, and that's why our midweek horses, I think, are doing really well, because generally they've been black booked. We don't do form on a midweek trying to find you something. They're horses we found on Saturday class that maybe have run a -2.5 and up, right, which already puts them in the top 7 length back bracket of Australia. So that's why probably those midweeks are doing quite well. Although I've got a bit of a problem midweek with not getting the best jockeys on, as we talked about Butternut Princess, or why are they in a midweek? Why is the trainer not aiming higher? So we are doing well out of there, but I am also cautious, even though we've got good raters running midweek, why are they running there? But then sometimes it's a step up to something else, and etc. So yeah, that's why I think some of our midweeks going, and I think even on Saturdays, mainly when I look, it's our high raters. So let's get back to Kingaruso here. Once we rate them, then they go for this quite simple thing. I want to know how their class is going up and down, and what weight, their IVR rating, that's the rating we're giving them, their rating pattern. Here, have they done that rating more than once? Is it just an outlier? Rating confirmed. Rating confirmed is the form. Yes, it ran time, because we only go on times with that rating. Yeah, it ran on time. But is that rating of ours matching now? Are the horses around these horses performing and proving that our rating was right? And did they rate in the last 3 starts or 5 starts? How many starts? Are they still improving? Have they peaked this prep? As you know, that's really big. Contrast in track conditions is a funny one. We don't like horses going from a heavy track to a good track and staying at the same distance, even though they've got great good track form. And then the jockey, as you can see, CB Mertens is in blue. Orange, by the way, means good. Green means really good. Blue's okay. Red means this is a bad sign, right? And the video, see, we can have yes here. It's in green for Kingaruso. As you see, if you go across Kingaruso, there's a lot of green there. He went from a listed to an open, so he was actually down in class and dropped 1.5. Green, he's got a high rating. He had a rating pattern. He's, 1, 4, 5th up in the prep. Has he done it more than once? Yes, that 1.5, which was big. West of Africa done a 1.5, but he only did equal to average. Needs some luck as a +1. He never backed it up before. So Kingaruso, he was a bigger price than some of them. He has done that rating twice, which is a big deal. And Yellow Brick done a 1.5 as well, which are equal to, but if you look at Yellow Brick, he had 60 kilos. Kingaruso had 54. And then we had a red. Remember we said red is bad? Rating pattern, no. And that's why we had him as, we didn't think he'll win. 1 was the weight. That's why we mentioned the weight. And 2, the rating pattern. You can see I didn't fill out anything else in. Once I saw the rating pattern, I didn't waste my time. So that was the red there, and we put a red next to the horse's name. 17 starts means, from 10 to 20 means they're still improving. Kingaruso was just on the outskirts there, 21. So, yes, MGIS. MGIS means most ground in straight. Now, this is not just where it's a fast horse and suiting every horse coming from behind and he happened to make the most ground. It's against the pattern, like nothing else made ground. And that's what King Russo did last start. And you can see in the last 5 starts he done that rating. So he's in a green. So there's a lot of green there. And actually, look at this. I did have him as a 7-unit play. I didn't downgrade him to manipulate our book, you could say. So you can see is a 7-unit play because he just had so much green there. Yeah, let's go to the sheet. Where are we? So there's our sheet. There's all our unit plays, and you can see just on price, we brought King Russo down. I did have him as a 7-unit play. It was a very strong selection, believe it or not. Fully qualified cut due to value. I've got to be careful what I'm giving you here, these guys, because some of them I'm leaving out because something's against, i.e. Ninja. He had everything. He was the best horse in the race, and that was huge torment for me, Ninja. And we'll go through that. And then Flemington race 6 somewhere, yes. Dark Boney was really high in class from benchmark 70 to a benchmark 100. He dropped in weight 8 kilos, but it was a huge class in race. And this horse, I was going to make him a dynamite tip. That's the horse I was talking about in Rose Hill. But really, the heavy track, and we talked about Rose Hill, we didn't know he was going to handle. So all these horses here, probably other than Somewhere, they did have something against. They could have quite easily gone in the why didn't we tip him? Why haven't we tipped them bracket? And we can see we had the Rose Hill track in there, which could have easily put Cross Tasman in there. John Rambo we had in there, and of course we had Yellow Brick, and we had Miss Jolene. I forgot to put Miss Jolene. We had it as a 10-unit play the week before. Same with Ninja. And then we didn't even tip him the week after. Miss Jolene again had to meet better class horses and a back marker, and the weight differences were really out of whack. That's why we didn't have Miss Jolene. And we were a bit cheeky trying to tip you the quaddie here, which we had some favourites here, and we actually got the 2 middle legs up at big prices. So it was probably worth having a crack for you, for that quaddie. It was a bit of luck. It could have been a big one. Let's go to Ninja. I went over this and over this. We tipped you Talk to Be Sure, but we actually had Talk to Be Sure as a saver. We actually had Ninja as a 10-unit play, and this came down to experience, but even then, the torment of Ninja, I had it as a 10-unit play, and as you can see, I didn't even tip it to you in the end. And I nearly gave it as a dynamite tip. So from having it as a dynamite tip to not even tipping it to you, that's the torment I had. And the reason was, it was not just the wide barrier, and it wasn't just the price. It was the price, but it wasn't. It was that the horse had a wide barrier and was starting that price. I lost a lot of money backing good horses, probably even more so in inside barriers. Champions even, they've got to the big race, it's set weights, it's weight for age. They're $1.70, $1.80. They rate +5s. We talked about that. And I'm putting, at those days, I was putting big money, $2,000 on these type of horses, waiting for them for their grand final, as we used to, it wasn't a key word back then. And I'd lose my money. And I backed them. The one you really want to back, like Ninja, is the one before the grand final. Even though they're not really set to peak, they're so good. They're just off their peak. And it's not the big race. The problem with the big race is there can be unbelievable pace, jockeys doing unbelievable thing. And if you're good, if you're around $3.50, $4, like this is one of the ones to beat, but it's not the one to beat. And if you are, the problem, it's good to be good. It's not good to be very good. And what happens if you're $1.70, you're the one to beat, and you're drawn barrier one or you're drawn out, you are the hunted. This is a $2 million race, $1 million, $3 million race. And you got the top class jockeys all eyeing on you. So what I say about that, if you've drawn an inside barrier or really outside, and I don't think it happened with Ninja. In the end, he had a lot to do, but geez, this Talk to Be Sure was good as well. And he had the Ninja form. How good is the Ninja form? We talk about rating confirmed and form. Grafter Burners, Talk to Be Sure. Damien ran really well. Ninja, and we were rating, these came up on times I were rating 1.5 lengths above. So that is why I turned off Ninja. It was years and years of experience telling me he can win. We had him rated way above everything, but years of experience telling me, wait a minute, it's not just the wide barrier. It's just every jockey, everyone thinks he's the one to beat. And further to that, my experience learning about the tracks and the track biases, Eagle Farm, out wide is where you want to be. Eagle Farm, especially when the rail's true, they're going at 3 meters, even 2-3 meters. Out wide, Eagle Farm's the place to be. And he was out wide and it was super impressive. And we weren't so worried about the barrier back then because we knew coming down the outside Eagle Farm is a play. Gold Coast, not as much. So, yeah, that's and why I'm explaining this is because even with the experience, like, this horse is a good thing. We've got this horse rated 2 lengths above anything else. And as his barrier, so even my years experience, I was like, had him in, had him out, was tormenting me. But in the end, it was the right call. Here we go. Here's this race. Ninja. Here he is. He does miss the start, which we knew he would. He's in the red. And Talk to Be Sure is in the purple out wide there. And I've got to tell you, Talk to Be Sure, I was like, why am I tipping Talk to Be Sure? The unit plays here. The unit plays are good because if I just had straight out betting, I wouldn't have Talk to Be Sure in. But because we've got this unit play, I can just put a 1 unit on. But had he drawn a barrier, like barrier 6, barrier 4, I would have had like a 3 unit play because he was hitting the line hard against Ninja. And here he is in the purple, and he ain't getting much favours. And Ninja's thinks go back, and he's working here. He's like, shit, I don't want to be wide and back. I might as well be wide and closer to the pace. And he's working pretty hard, but he's got to sit on Talk to Be Sure. Talk to Be Sure's in the purple, and he's running ungenerously, which is unbelievable. The horse is pulling and it's keen. Oh no. It does this if I've got it ready to go. Here we go. I'll speed it up. As you can see, Ninja's here. Talk to Be Sure's here. As we scroll it through, Talk to Be Sure out on his wide, working keen, and Ninja's sort of following him through. And Ninja, here we go. We come into the home turn. If we just pause it, there's Ninja and Talk to Be Sure, he's been following about 3 lengths behind. And he has worked a little bit harder, but Talk to Be Sure's worked harder by racing keen. And we knew Talk to Be Sure wants more ground. So did Ninja, but I think Talk to Be Sure could run 2,000 metres. And here they come, and it looks like Ninja's going to run keen on him. Damien's doing well on the fence. And look, there, he's got him. And that bump, I heard thinking about protest. I don't know if a protest happened, but that bump did help. Because even though, like, Talk to Be Sure, that bump, Ninja's getting tired. And when he copped that bump, he's like, oh, God, really? And Talk to Be Sure changes legs and won. So, yeah, the only reason why I had Talk to Be Sure in was the fact that he was actually a saver for Ninja. I was going to have a 10 unit play and then have Talk to Be Sure. I said, I've got to have this horse as a saver because he's the danger. And I had him 1 unit, and I thought at that price, we leave him out, we might as well leave him in. And it was a bit of a master stroke to have Talk to Be Sure in for a 1 unit play. Hey guys, let's see what we can do next week. Like I said, this is for entertainment. Even though we showed profit last year, over the whole year, and we started this monthly profit, and this unit play is really doing well. It's giving us consistency like it wasn't last year. And I saw straight out plays, even though we had Disneck win, Talk to Be Sure, King of Russo win at big prices. We are showing a profit of 10 units um, if you played them straight out. Um, and we're showing profit of 70 units this way. Um, so I don't know if that's 100% right, actually. I think it could be because we're putting 10 units. It could be 100 units if you put it straight out and 70 units with this unit play. But the point is we're just a lot more consistent, a lot less losing days. So it adds that consistency in. But again, King of Russo gets held up. It's terribly unlucky and doesn't win for us. We've got a losing day, and we drop from 70 units to about 30 units, I believe, profit, which is not a lot. If you've got a 10-unit play, that's only like three of our big bets, right? So what I'm saying, this game's tough. The markets are really tight, and I do believe we will show profit in the end, but it can be a tough ride. And why I say it's entertainment, it's put money to make money, but don't bet out of your means thinking this is the thing that's going to replace your day job, right? Don't get overly excited. I don't even get overly excited. I'm busy with win ahead and stuff like that. And I'm not going all chips in the selections. Um, and it's my own stuff. So, and I do really believe in it. But the point is, I think once you go all in and make it, you want to win, you have to win because you're all chips in, it can psychologically change the way you play and you can get caught out as well. That's another big reason. Like, if you're betting within your means, psychology wise, you can keep that intact and follow the rules and do everything right and win. Whereas opposed to the same selections, the same method, just being all chips in and being nervous and stressed when things aren't going well. Like, I mean, it came down to King of Russo. You might have put more on King of Russo and it got beat because you're having a losing day and you're panicking because you're betting outside. It means you couldn't afford a losing day. You end up losing more. It could have been far out. This guy, I don't know if he's going to pull through. I'm going to bet something else. So tipped a good thing. It's at $2.50. It's more like King of Russo's playing 11, $12. What's this guy thinking? And you might not put as much on as you're meant to. And that $2.50 they tipped you lost. And King of Russo won. That's when you go all chips in. They're the sort of decisions you start to get desperate. So that's why I tell you it's for entertainment. And I don't, win ahead is not about breeding people gambling and betting more than they can afford. It really is entertainment. I don't want to breed gamblers. I don't believe in gambling. I've been there. I've gambled. I've done all the pitfalls, and I don't. That's not what win ahead's about. So, take care. I'll see you guys next week, and I wish you all the best. Even if I don't know all you guys, I love yous. I care about you. I want you to have a good time. I want you to enjoy. I want you to have a flutter. Betting is nice. I enjoy them more than owning horses these days because I feel like I own them. When you get to know them so well, I feel like you own them. So I want you to get that feeling. Love the horses. Love having a flutter. Love having that bet and that feeling. But I don't want you betting outside your means. Take care. See you guys soon.